What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on What If Deku Was the Avatar Part 10. Not gonna lie, feels a weird coming back to this, mainly just because, well, it's been almost about 2 to 3 weeks. I'm pretty sure we're gauging on 3 weeks. It's like 20 days. But before we jump into this What If, I'm gonna start off by saying a shout out for the people who joined the Discord in between videos. Flare, What Ifer, thank you for coming into the Discord. Now, if you guys want a shout out in the next video, go down into the Discord down below. Go ahead and join it. Come out, hang out. You guys can find out what videos are coming up next, or hear about some thumbnails. I do know we talked about thumbnails and other things. So if you guys think you would like to enjoy to, talk to me or talk to the other people, then go down there. Go chill. And I do want to say thank you for hitting 500 subs. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think we would reach this point this quickly. I figured we were going to reach it eventually, but not nearly as quick as we did. And I do want to say thank you for that. I am very appreciative of your guys' actions. So thank you. And now let's jump straight into this What If. Deku was about to leave the Air Nomad Temple before he was stopped. Tenzin knew this was Izuku's last day. Izuku had gone attached to a certain air bison cub. I'm pretty sure they're called cubs when they're baby air bisons. I don't know. The air bison's cub was named Gale. Tenzin asked Deku, "You see, air bison tend to be very, how do I say this, loyal to the personnel that they gain the closest to. And Gale's grown pretty close to you, Izuku. Do you think you would like to take Gale with you back over into your world?" Izuku thought about it for a second and realized that there was almost no downside to having an air bison. Then he actually thought about it for a second. He was like, wait a minute. If I took Gale back, he could be tested upon. I could have him protected by the Hero Society. Deku eventually caved in and said, yeah, I'll take Gale back with me. Okay. Then I'll have him loaded up on a bison before they leave. I heard Crystal and Alex, as well as Janora, are all gonna come with you to see you off. Is that correct? Yeah. They said that they were gonna come with me. Alex asked if he could come with me through the portal, but I told him no. I don't know how it would affect him. The only reason why I think I was able to do it is because I had Rava with me. I don't want to accidentally injure Alex or Janora, or Crystal for that matter. All three of them have been close companions to me when I was spending my time here. Oh, I see. Well, I do hope you make a return. Deku said, I probably will. I know an internship's coming up. Actually, I have a form right here. Deku held out a form towards Tenzin. Tenzin looked at the form kind of confusingly and he said, what is this form? Well, see, this form basically allows me to set up an internship, or you can request one and I can accept it. So, I was wondering if you would allow me to intern here. Wait, does that mean... Yes, Tenzin, it means that if you sign this form, I can come back very soon, in about 2 to 3 to 4 weeks. I can come back here. Oh. Well, I think that would be great. You could continue teaching compression bending to all the students here. I also heard you know many other rare type of bendings, like combustion. Yeah, combustion bending wasn't too hard. It's just that I had to figure out about combustion bending. Oh. Well, how did you learn it? Deku said, I'll tell you next time. Tenzin started to fill out the form, while Deku went over to the bisons. Izuku started talking with Jinora as well as Crystal and Alex. Yo, bro, are you sure I can't go? Come on, Alex. He's already said this. You cannot go with him because we don't know the effects it would have on your body. Izuku has Rava with him. That allows him to do what he's doing. We don't know if it could affect you negatively or have little to no effect on you at all. Izuku also chimed in saying, yeah, sorry, Alex. Trust me, my world is just as glamorous as this one, if not a little less. Not gonna lie, it's not every day where we see fire benders and water benders and earth benders. Of course, there's some earth benders, but that's about it. Oh, okay. Jinora smiled at Deku, and then she chimed in saying, well, Izuku, I hope you have a very safe trip. Thank you, Jinora. I should be coming back actually really soon, though. Huh? What do you mean? Well, I should be staying here for about 2 weeks in about 3 weeks' time. Jinora looked at Deku kind of confusingly, and Deku explained. You see, where I come from, there is an internship that happens after we do something called a sports festival. I have to return for the sports festival, and your dad's filling out the form for an internship. Now, I don't know if they will allow me to just come here and intern, but I can hope so. Oh, and then doing that will allow you to stay here for a better amount of time, increasing everyone's understanding over compression bending. Yes, and I guess I can also give you some science lessons to help out that a bit more. Science? Oh, yes, that one thing you were talking about. It described more accurately different forces, correct? Yes, and I understand I went to a brief summary of chemistry, if you can even call what I was talking about chemistry. It was more talking about how there's small, tiny little balls in the air, and then you just have to imagine the balls in the air becoming the shape you want it to become. And then you gotta imagine making the ball sharp. Yeah, it's not fun. Yeah, I really didn't like chemistry. No one likes chemistry. Fair enough. Okay. Is there anything else you need, Izuku, before you leave? Oh, yes. Apparently I'll be taking a bison called Gale with me. Oh. I know, right? Apparently he'll be coming with me. And also be staying with me over in my world for a time when I'm there. And then he'll come back here with me when I come back over to this world. Well, I would hope so. It's not every day where an air bison gets to actually leave its own world. Are you sure it can exist outside that world? The only reason why I'm sure of it is because of Bandit, Deku said as he pets his raccoon crow under the chin. The raccoon crow kind of does a weird form of a purr as it excitedly likes its master to touch underneath its chin. Deku smiled back at the raccoon crow for this. Oh, I see. So because of that, you can at least somewhat guarantee that they'll be ones to survive? Yes. I wouldn't have decided to take Gale otherwise. It's actually your father the one who told me to take him. Huh. Okay. Well then, I hope that everything works out well. You and me both. Not gonna lie, it's gonna be a little bit difficult to get Gale 100% admitted. What do you mean by that? Well, you see, imagine a weird creature coming into your world from a world you don't know about just so it can chill with a kid. Even if the kid is the avatar, that doesn't change the fact that, well, the entire world will see it as just a tad bit weird. Jinora looked at Izuku kind of weirdly, like if she was trying to understand his words. You know what, don't worry about it. I have to go. Tenzin gave Deku the form right on time. Yes, Izuku, here you go, it's the form. I filled it all out, hopefully. I copied over the words in the language. Luckily, our languages are quite similar, so it wasn't too hard to write out a form in your language compared to writing it out on my own. That's amazing. I second that, Izuku. Very lucky. I agree. Don't worry, Gale's already loaded up onto the bison itself. He should be sleeping peacefully up there. Make sure you inform me when you're eventually coming back through. And how will I inform you? That's a fair enough point. Whatever, okay. I'll do that. Okay, Izuku, I'll see you off then. Thank you, Tenzin. Hopefully you can help teach the air mads somewhat. I know I left you a couple books on chemistry and stuff that I just drew up quickly with multiple different diagrams and stuff. Hopefully you can understand them. I will. Hopefully. I don't know if I can guarantee that I will or not, but at least I can guarantee that I will try to understand your diagrams. Thank you, Tenzin. No problem, Izuku. Izuku boarded the flying bison as he was quickly flown out by Crystal, Alex, and Genora. I keep calling her Gina. They eventually made it over to where Izuku was at. Izuku opened up the portal and wished them goodbye as Gale hopped through. And then Bandit hopped through too. Izuku smiled before he hopped through and vanished. Alex had a slight tear come to his eye and was made slightly fun of by Crystal. Until Alex said that he wasn't crying. It was just dust in his eyes. Crystal kind of laughed at Alex's statement, but understood that she was feeling it too. Even though Izuku wasn't around for long, he was still a pretty important person in their aspect of daily life. Almost so important to the point where it didn't even matter. Izuku's exited and eventually made it back to UA. He eventually found All Might and discussed All Might about his situation. All Might really didn't know much about this spirit world that Deku goes to, but he knows that it's what Deku referred to be as a gateway in between worlds. When Deku explained that he traveled to a totally different world with other people with powers like him, All Might became slightly suspicious. They can also communicate with their past lives as well. Izuku said no, that's ability unique to me, but they were benders. They could bend the elements just like I can. All Might was kind of surprised by this. He never figured his student would have been able to actually find, anything like this. But he did. All Might eventually said to Izuku, well, then, I don't know what to say. This seems pretty amazing for you, young Izuku. Not only are you able to actually talk to other benders, but also learn from them and teach them too? Izuku smiled and said, yep, I can't wait. What do you mean? See, All Might, I need you to work some of your magic. Some of my magic? What do you mean, young Izuku? See, there was actually an airbender there. And as you know, I'm having trouble studying airbending. And I know you guys want me to quickly finish studying all my bending types. So I want you to see if I can go to the spirit world for it. He already filled out a form and everything to be my intern, or for me to intern with him. So if he can fill it out, that means I can actually go there and stay there instead of having to, work with Gran Torino. Even though, don't get me wrong, Gran Torino's a great man, and thanks to him, I've discovered compression mending. It doesn't change the fact that Gran Torino is not the best airbending teacher, especially when he doesn't even have access to the airbending ability at all. I see. And I can see how that can be a problem, Izuku. Yes. So can you please talk to them about that? Yes, I will discuss with Gran Torino about that. Thank you, All Might, Deku said as he bowed his head to All Might. All Might raised his hands in retaliation and said, No, Yonizuku. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Well, you better prepare. The sports festival is actually starting pretty soon. You came way later than most people expected. Luckily, you came just before the entrance ceremony. Deku eventually showed up into Class 1A. Aizawa notices Deku show up, but decided not to bring attention to it, knowing that Izuku was in kind of a dire situation and was in a very particular place, at least hearing what All Might was saying. So he gave Izuku a pass. They all got into their gym uniforms. Some kids were looking at Izuku still. They hadn't forgotten what happened. He's still known as kind of a scary man, but wasn't too scary. Most of the personnel there kind of understood Izuku, especially personnel with more scarier quirks. Eventually, Bakugo gave his speech, being the number one representative for UA, and the race started. Izuku, quickly using compression bending, shot himself forward at insane speeds. Very similar to, God, I just said his name earlier. Gran Torino's jet style, sending him flying quicker than most people can perceive. Until eventually Deku came into contact with the robots, which he then used metal bending to bend them out of the way, switching back to compression bending to shoot himself forward even quicker. Speeding up his speed, he made it first place, way ahead of Todoroki, who Deku kind of messed up by manipulating Todoroki's ice into water, causing him to lose all of his force. Deku also made small circles around Bakugo's hands, so his explosions didn't really produce as much force using compressed air bending. Next up was the cavalry battle. Since Deku got first place, he had 10 million points on his head. Deku knew this made him a very high target for most people, and since that was the reasoning, most people really didn't want to go against him. A few people joined his team, though, which he was lucky for. One of the girls was Mei Hatsume. She wanted to test out, as she put it, her little babies, which seemed to be jet boots or hover boots. Izuku really didn't understand because he knew he could theoretically create a sphere of air around them and then lift them up into air using that. Next up was Ochako Uraraka. Ochako always kind of liked Deku after the battle against the bomb. She knew Izuku wasn't really a bad personnel. She also hadn't questioned All Might into it until All Might broke and eventually told her that Izuku could connect with his past lives, and that's what he had done in that segment. And the final one was kind of like the wild card of the group. Tokiyami. He decided to join because Izuku had asked him. He knew Izuku was strong. Stupidly strong. Stronger than almost anyone else here. So he decided to join. Izuku explained his plan. He was going to make a compressed ball of air that surrounded all of them and lift them up. He'll make small holes into the roof so they can breathe until time runs out. They all understood as Deku makes a compressed ball of air and slowly lifts them up out of the air, almost looking like they're flying to everyone else. Uraraka was kind of surprised by this. Same with Tokiyami and Mei Hatsume. Even though Deku had told them, they really didn't believe his powers had expanded to this point. Izuku smiled at their reactions and said, "What? Is this a new experience? Trust me, I've never tried this before either, and this is very experimental for me too." The time clicked down, and eventually it ended. Izuku wasn't even attacked once. Almost as soon as everyone saw him fly, they really didn't do much. Deku smiled at this, knowing that he was still in first place, and he had helped his team guarantee victory as well. And that's where I'm going to leave it off here, guys. I know the sports festival is a little bit lackluster, but I do kind of want to get past it and just get into the next part. Don't worry, I am going to flesh out the battles more. The battles are going to be fleshed out way more than what I did for the cavalry battle, as well as the race because both of those were really more of Deku just quickly speeding along, just preparing to get back to the spirit world. So, if you guys liked it, hit the like button. If you all enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. And until next time, goodbye.